What's up? My name is Justin, and I'm here to launch a new channel called 412 TV. And that's based off of 1 Timothy 4 verse 12, which is don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but be an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And I really want to emphasize, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. Regardless of how old you are, God will use you as long as you're obedient and willing to follow Him. And that's the main premise of this channel. I really hope that you would grow in your faith and you'd be able to take what you learn here and just apply it to your own life and just be able to impact the people at school or wherever you go, just to be an example of Christ wherever you go. And today just want to get you guys just to start thinking about the people around you, and that kind of leads back to you guys as youth, as young adults, or as teenagers, or whatever you want to call yourselves. I'll just call you guys youth, all right? But I mean, how many times have you've heard the excuse, I don't know any better. I'm young. It's okay. If you look at society, that's kind of the image that they've given youth or young adults. It's okay. They don't know any better. They're young. They're still learning. And it's these low expectations that are given to youth that's kind of where problems arise. Actually, if you do a Google search and you type in teens and, the auto fill-in would say teens and drugs, teens and technology, teens and alcohol, and teens and depression. So already you can see right there, drugs, alcohol, depression associated with teens on Google. Google doesn't really have they don't have high expectations of teens. But yeah, these low expectations, what tends to happen is we end up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy where we go like, okay, well, society, they don't really have that much expectation for us, then we start to treat our younger years as like a vacation, or, we don't care too much for responsibility. We don't really aim high, that much when we're younger, because it's like, well, society doesn't really expect that much of me, so it's okay. I don't need to go the extra mile. Like, I can just relax a bit. But again, I want to emphasize, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. And again, you have society that they have low expectations of young adults, of teenagers, and you have God's expectations, which are, they're not low, right? God's standards are high, right? So just because society has low expectations of us doesn't mean that God has low expectations for us. I mean, think about it. God doesn't have like two standards where it's like, well, I'm going to have, low expectations for young adults, but then for adults, I'm going to have like really, really high expectations. No, He has high expectations for all of us because we're His children and He wants to use us. So, I mean, that leads us to the question, which is, okay, well, which set of expectations are you going to live by, right? Are you going to live by the world's expectations, or are you going to live by God's expectations? And if you read Romans 12 verse 2, it says, don't conform any longer to the patterns of this world. And I mean, just look at music, for example. The rise of YOLO, live fast, die young, young, wild, and free. Do what you want while you're young, while you're able to, while you're so energetic, you're able to go many, many nights without that much sleep. You're in your prime, in a sense. Like, you do whatever you want in your prime. You look at ads and you look at movies or whatever, any kind of media, and what they're telling us to do. They tell us how to be when we're young. They tell us how to have fun. They tell us what to do. They tell us what we should be into. And, we buy that. We're so into that. If you read 1 Corinthians 14 verse 20, it says, brothers and sisters, stop thinking like children. In regard to evil, be infants, but in your thinking, be adults. So don't excuse your choices with, well, I'm still young. Like, I don't need to be responsible for that because I'm young. I don't need to do this because I'm still young. Or, a lot of people, won't expect me to do this because I'm young. Forget all that. There's a book that's written by John Piper, which is called Don't Waste Your Life. It's a really great book. And there's another book which is written by the Harris brothers. I don't remember their first names. But they wrote a book called Do Hard Things, and it is aimed to tackle this issue of, as youth, we could be doing so much more. But, we kind of submit ourselves to these low expectations that society has, and we go like, oh yeah, I'm young, it's okay, it's cool. But God has so much more for us. I mean, for me, when I look back to when I was in high school and I look at like all the people that were there that didn't know who God was, and I would always ask, I always look back and I always say, like, Justin, did you do enough? Or what did you do about the people that were in school that, didn't know God? Like, was I just focused on myself and what I wanted, and was it just focused on, trying to get home as soon as possible to play video games, or was it just interested in myself and my own extracurricular activities, or did I, pour the time into these people that I see, for so long, and, did I waste my time there? And I did the math. So it's like within the 4 years you're at school, that's like, it's like you're at school for 860 days. That's like 6,020 hours for those four years that you're in school. Not counting extracurricular time. So I mean, you're with these people for a massive amount of time throughout, those 4 years. That's a long time to be with these people. And it's like, what did I spend my time wisely, or did I just waste it all away? And maybe that's a question for you guys that you guys should answer for yourselves. You see all these people in your school that that don't know who Christ is, but that in God's word it tells us to go preach the gospel to all the nations. How are you living that out within your school? And that's a huge question to ask yourself. Yeah, so I mean, like, you see all these people in your school that don't know who God is, and what are you gonna do about it? Well, again, maybe you don't know what you're gonna do about it, but that's what 412 TV is all about. We hope that you can just grow in your faith by just some of the content that we're able to put out. Again, today, I just want to get you guys really thinking about, the people within your schools, the people within your life that don't know who Christ is. How are you living the gospel out? How are you living your faith out? And maybe this is another question for you, and you can post your answer in the comments, or just think to yourself, what is the hardest part about showing your faith to other people? What is the hardest part about sharing your faith with other people? What is the hardest part about living your faith in front of other people? Again, that's a question to ask yourselves, and I hope that I'm able to release a video like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Something to help you guys or encourage you guys to grow in your faith. So stay tuned for that. But again, I just want to close off with the verse, 1 Timothy 4 verse 12. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but be an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. So again, my name is Justin, and I'll see you guys next time.